Ken, when the shots aren't falling from outside, do you tell him to try to go inside more, to look inside more, or you still have to take the shots that are open?
Well, it's hard to pass up. We were just talking before I came down here. I'll bet out of the 19 three-point attempts we shot, at least 2/3 of them, okay? At least 2/3, or maybe even 14 or 15 of those shots were wide open shots. So it's hard to tell good shooters, oh, don't shoot it. You're wide open, but don't shoot it. Yet, you know, we understand that at halftime we were 1 for 12 from outside the arc, and we were, what were we inside, 10 for 14? 10 for 14 inside the arc. So obviously we told our guys keep looking to get the ball inside. But that's what they were taking away. That's why the three was open. So ideally we get a balance and we get some inside shots and we get some perimeter shots. But we just could not make those threes tonight.
I know a lot of times when you miss open threes at the end of games, they always say it's fatigue, you know, you're not getting the elevation. You know, you're closer to the court than us. Were they kind of getting the elevation on the shots that you wanted tonight?
They might not have. You know, I think our guys are really tired. Really, they're very tired from this week. It's draining. And it's my fault that we scheduled the game this week. So it's my fault the way we played, really. It's not like our practices have been great either. They've been decent, but we got exposed tonight, I believe, because of the fatigue factor.
I know last game we were talking about how Modem scored a ton of points and you had called the timeout, got Lacey involved, and he had that layup. Was there anything tonight too where you're doing a timeout? Hey, let's get Lacey or Woolridge or anyone else a shot at that time? No.
He was trying to get the ball in the middle of the zone, and from there make a play. And like I said, I think ideally if we can get the ball to Brock inside, he's our best option. But if it's kick it back out for a three, go ahead and keep shooting your open three.
Sure.
And unfortunately, one guy was 3 for 8, and the rest of the guys were 0 for 11.
You had a pretty quick hook with Devontae a couple times after some bad passes. Is that kind of how you have to drive the point home, to be a little more careful with the ball?
That's what I try to do in games like these, meaning opponents that I feel we have a really, really good chance of winning or beating. But if I sense that they're mistakes because of the lack of focus, then yeah, they're quick to be pulled out.
So you mentioned it being your fault for scheduling the game during finals. Did you just really want to get this game in, or was this the only time we could play? Or?
Well, it was down to, we had one game to go, and we had a game last Sunday against Fresno State, and then we had almost 2 weeks until we played the game in Seattle. You know, when we found out they were coming this direction, I think they play Seattle U and Washington here this weekend or in the week. So once we knew they were coming and we could get them, it was a game that made sense to us because we needed to fit one more game in. We didn't want that long of a layoff. And to fit one in somewhere else, it'd be really difficult.
When you guys are somewhat playing to the level of your opponents, you know, playing really well against Gonzaga, maybe not your best game tonight, is that something that you can address, or is that a problem that, you know, how do you fix that?
Go to practice next few days and keep trying to get better. Like I said, this was totally expected by me. I mean, it's not like, wow, we were bad tonight. I can't believe it. No, I'd seen the last few practices. I know how busy the guys have been academically. We're not a professional basketball team. This is not the only thing these guys do. So it was totally expected, at least for me.
Sure.
We're not bad. We'll get better.
Coach, what does it say about Brock to come and score 27 points and grab 8 boards on a night where there's every reason to nail it in?
I think Brock, being a senior and being very determined to become the best player he can become, it doesn't matter whether we have another game here at midnight. He's going to come out and bring it. I think he's very focused. It's his senior year. We are already 11 games into the season, and so his clock is ticking, and I think he understands that.
Do you ever see his intensity drop? I mean, in practice or games, it seems like he plays with the same drive, at least.
He does. He's very motivated. He's motivated to become a great basketball player.
Any more questions for Coach?
Ken, Will, any update on whether he might play at Seattle?
I don't know yet, but he's out of the boot. He got out of the boot yesterday, and he's walking around. So since he's walking around this early, I'm guessing he'll be available for the Buffalo game. But he hasn't practiced yet, and he won't practice for at least 2 more days, maybe longer, but I know for a fact he won't practice for 2 more days.
Is Brett
So I'd say probable,
Kingman's suspension over?
yes. We lifted the suspension after 2 months, and he's practiced like 3 days with us.